camera. Wrong camera. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hi everyone. I want to just check the audio really quick. Wrong camera. Hey, that sounds pretty good. Oh my goodness. I'm like, oh, I need to double check and double check that the audio is working right. I had to wear a tad early, so I'm not going to start doing much of anything yet. I have some boxes here. We have, which I already showed you, lots of dyes out on the counter. I made up a batch of guar gum today, and so, yeah, I just feel like dyeing some yarn. And I try to put streaming days into my schedule so that way I can just be live and dye yarn, and I would say 75% of the time I end up having to put in a pre-filmed video on those slots because life happens. Someone has a doctor's appointment, someone has a orthodontist appointment. It's mostly orthodontist that tends to do it, but hi Carla. Yeah, so the plan for today is that there is not much of a plan. Not much of a plan. Yeah, and so I don't know. I'm excited. I pulled a ton of stencils. I'm not. It's funny. I was gonna say I'm not a very I consider myself an artist, but I'm planning on either stenciling, maybe freehand painting. I'm not a painter, so I'm not skilled at freehand drawing, but I can play with the colors and we'll sort of see what the colors are doing and what they want to do and go from there to see where we're gonna end up. And that's my loose plan. And so I think I'll probably mostly be dyeing. Oh, do I have to do manual focus? These are the things with being live. Does that have me in focus now? I think so. My eyes are not the best, so therefore it's hard to say. But I think we're mostly going to dye double-stranded sock blanks. And if you're new to any of my videos, a sock blank is a piece of fabric, a piece of knit fabric that was created with the intention for you to dye and then unravel. And so these are really great for making, say, gradients, because this particular one has 2 strands of yarn knit together, so you would get 2 50-gram balls. Hi, Robin! And so then when you unravel it, you'll get a matched set. So if I dye, blue at this end, purple in the middle, and then blue again at the other, we'll get that transition between the colors. And so this means that we can do something like stencil. I could do something, I once tried to write song lyrics on one, but the edible marker I was using, because this was back when I just did food coloring, it was really hard to work on a damp blank because like the water in the blank just sort of sucked out the dye. So that did not work perfectly. But yeah, I think that we'll use stencils. I'll talk more about why I made a guar gum mixture, what's important about that. But the sock blanks that I'm dyeing are a combination of Stroll double-stranded sock blanks from Knit Picks and Platinum double-stranded sock blanks from Wool to Dye For. Both of those are 75% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon. And yeah, I will give disclosures and let you know all of my relationships with companies in a couple of minutes because I'm going to wait for the official start time, even though there's a bit of a delay. But I figured if I was sitting here, things were ready, things were working, I may as well pop on. Come on early. I meant to set up the stream last night before I went to bed, but then that didn't happen, obviously, because I was doing that this morning. And then also, Lucas had an orthodontist appointment this morning, but Keith was able to take him, and so that was another factor that I was like, when will I be back home? But I never left, so. There we go. 1 minute and it's the official start time. But yeah, I'm excited to just play with some color. Hello. Wow, welcome all the way from Germany. Yeah, I guess this time of day I can get some of our European friends. And unfortunately, it's less good time for our Californian friends because it is quite early in the morning. But this is the time of day when my brain works the best. But we are officially at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, so I will say hello everyone. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and I love to dye yarn. And so in just a minute, I'm going to stand up and we're going to get started dyeing some sock blanks. But before I do that, I figured I'll let you know a little bit about what we're going to be doing today and give some disclosures. So I have some Knit Picks orders of mine to unbox. And I have a massive box here. I'm a little nervous because I think it looks a little small for the amount of yarn that's supposed to be in it, but we'll unbox that. I am a Knit Picks affiliate, and so I do have an affiliate link, which I will actually drop in the chat now, or shortly. So if you make a purchase through one of my, oh no, that's not it. That is absolutely not the link. That was my stream key. And so if you make a purchase through one of my Knit Picks affiliate links, I will earn a commission. And yeah, but the orders I'm unboxing today, I purchased myself. They did send me a couple things for free recently, which I'll talk about with some of their promos. But the yarn in the packages I did buy with my own money. And so there's that. I'm also an affiliate marketer with Amazon, and I'll have some Amazon links down in the video description as well. And I don't know if I have any Wool to Dye For links there. I'm not a Wool to Dye For affiliate, but I link to things that I use, whether I'm an affiliate or not. And so, yeah, but the Knit Picks big sale starts on Monday, on the 11th. And that I'm allowed to say. And I already put up my blog post. Well, that's my shop website. I already put up my blog post tracking the sale to talk about active deals because they started some things this week, shopping strategy. And I will be updating just like I do every year because, here's 6 previous year's posts. Just like I do every year, I'm going to talk about my strategy, what I think the best deals, and track the sales that happen and when they happen, so then we can refer to that for future years. And I find that to be super, super handy. But anyway, let's go over to the counter. So I didn't even pre-soak yarn today. That's how free-flowing we are going today. So these are all the dye stocks that I have. And I realized I need my monitor so that way I can see the chat. You're just about to ask when the live stream is starting? Oh, the big sale. Yes. They said I'm allowed to say when it's starting. So, okay, so I have tons of dye stocks. I don't feel like dealing with dry dye powders today, so we're going to focus on colors I already have mixed. There's a lot of duplicates. Like I have 2 oxbloods in here. I may have multiple neon greens. I have hot fuchsia. I have some sapphire, Caribbean blue. I guess I have some primaries too, so we can mix things. But if it comes to stenciling, which I think it'll come to eventually, and I'll have to decide which, of these stencils to use. When it comes to thinking about the stencils, ooh, this one's really pretty. Oh, I really like this one. I don't know how well it'll work with all that, with that little negative space. Typically things work better when they have more spacing, but anyway. I have a brain. I don't know where it's going. Okay, but we have a bunch of stencil options that I can pull from that I'm going to pop onto the floor. Now, this guar gum mixture is a thickener. So normally if you add acid dyes or liquid dyes onto wet yarn, when you add them, they're going to spread. And using a thickener like guar gum, oh my gosh, it is so thick. I made this a little thicker than normal because I know I'll be diluting it with the liquid dyes. Using the thickener will allow us to make the dyes a little more paint-like. So when we put it on, it's not going to spread through the fibers. It's going to stay more where I've placed it. And so that is something that is handy. Now, in terms of thinking about, well, we're going with the flow. I'm not doing any planning. I was going to say, these are my dark colors, but blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, oh, I don't even have like dye in any of the blanks yet. Or I haven't even pre-soaked any of the blanks. So I figured before we talk about other things, we may as well, I have no idea if this is going to work well. Let's just add some color onto some blanks. And I feel like I've done a lot of rainbowy things, but I'm just adding things in a shoebox, and I think we'll probably add some water and some acid and then add some dye. And we're not going to have everything set perfectly, but we're going to create some backdrops to use. Now, I mentioned previously, but if you're just tuning in, sock blanks are knit pieces of fabric that the plan is to unravel. And so, yeah, that's the plan. Now, I figured I may also film some shorts while I'm at it, but I may need to make sure that I'm still nice and on camera for all of you who are watching this live. Okay, I got some water here, just 8 cups of water. Now, what I'm doing right now is showing a little bit about why I didn't just go straight to pour dyes on. This yarn, which these ones are either platinum or stroll double-stranded sock blanks, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. They are very absorbent, okay? But it's not perfect. And so while the blanks themselves are very absorbent, if I just put the dye on, then maybe it would just run off, and that's not necessarily what we want. Let's go ahead and add some acid now. I think we're going to want some colors to spread, but also maybe some not to spread. So we will see. Now, again, I'm making things up as I go along today, but I'm going to go put on some gloves. Let's think about what we have. We could go for, let's see. Do you always air dry yarn after dyeing? Yes, I air dry yarn. I have never used like a space heater or anything to help dry the yarn. That's a great question. Well, I've been having a really rough month. And so my plan today is to play with happy colors. I haven't had any time to edit. The good news, and because I'm struggling on my wet hands to get my gloves on. The good news is that I have words, clearly. The good news is that I have finished dyeing all the yarn for Chanukah. All right, I have a tiny bit of bright aqua left, and I want to start with this color, but first I'm going to add some water to our dye stock container. Just a little bit at least. Just so that way I can spread it out. But I believe that there weren't even, this bottle holds 500 milliliters. I believe there weren't even 25 milliliters left in here. Let's do this aqua. down in the middle, and you can see it spreading all around. That is fine. I can even help it a little bit. I mean, eventually we'll move things and things could blend more, but things are so crowded in here that why not just work things through a little bit because I can. And we'll be able to stencil on top of this. I just want there to be something. And in fact, I told you I was making this up as we went along. To help me really say goodbye to what's in here. But you'll notice that the colors are striking pretty quickly, which is really fun. Let's see. Let me know if there's any color requests too. I'll probably do navy or navy and brown on top of this. And so what else? So I have spearmint, which is going to be really, really close. But here's maybe what I'll do. Well, it doesn't look that close right now. Right now, that's looking very green. That's fun. It's probably going to shift everything fairly green. But of course, there's a lot of pastel down the sides. And let's go for some good old sapphire blue. Which is going to be darker. But this still ultimately isn't going to be that dark. That's taking over a lot of that aqua. But I'm just sort of playing with it. I'm going to let some of this color go down the sides a little bit. This will not all set without heat, but some of it might set a bit. And so then that could give us a fun, very mottled base for starting with. But I think now, and see, this is not where I thought I was going to be going with this. I'm going to let this sit for, I think, about at least 15 minutes. So I'm going to go take this aside. And maybe we'll set up something else too. What do we want? Ooh, we could do, oh no, I'm still recording. Let's see. I have some single-stranded blanks too. Okay, here's 8 cups of water. There's something fun with just not having a plan and playing with color. Ooh, actually, I think I have an idea for a voiceover. Okay, voiceover for the previous. There's something fun about not having a plan and just seeing what the colors are doing before I get started. I had so little planning for this project that I didn't even pre-soak the sock blanks that I'm dyeing. I started with a bright aqua and then moved it through. It was spreading, so I moved it through the yarn and then added some spearmint breeze and sapphire blue to give myself sort of a gradient-esque modeled, because there's some resist from how it's twisted, but some kind of gradient base to get started with before I go and add and paint some designs on top of it. And it's really fun and freeing to just let the colors speak to you and do what they're going to do. Yeah, I don't know if I love that, but that's okay. Sometimes for shorts and things, so this is some pecan brown. Sometimes for shorts and things, I plan exactly what I'm going to say and like write it out before I do a voiceover. Sometimes I do them in the moment. And the reason why there's been more shorts and things coming out is because that is, unfortunately, the direction that video content creation is going. It's mostly for Instagram, but things that are useful for either like if I have a sponsored post or if things occasionally I have words, I promise. So some reasons why I might post shorts on YouTube. It might be a frequently asked question. It might be something that is a follow-up to a video, or sometimes like a point that was partially made in a video. And so those could be reasons why I might post them on YouTube. But I try to not, at this point, post too many on YouTube. But when I do, it really does help people find my other videos. So that is a reason to start doing more. And so again, this blank was also dry to start. And I'm just giving us a neutral-ish backdrop for the color. So that way, this one, I can do more brights on top, or I could go dark and do dark on dark, but it's just something a little different. And I'm also gonna let this one sit probably about 15 minutes. I have a choice where I could go ahead and steam set these blanks that we started dyeing before we stencil onto them. That will really, really depend on, yeah, what we end up with. But these colors are actually super pretty. Oh my goodness. Like, I didn't know exactly what I would get when I brought the darker blue in with the aqua and mint, but it's really, really pretty. And I'm gonna come and sit down so you can see my face, and we'll think about what colors could go well on top of that, because I think we might still do navy. It would have less contrast, but I'm also okay with that. To camera. Hello. I didn't make that any smaller, but that's okay. I can make myself bigger. Aw, thank you for the kitty head bonks and cuddles. You were going to request a green and I brought out spearmint. Hot fuchsia would be pretty. I think hot fuchsia would be fun in the stenciled color versus a base color just because it spreads so much. But I have some single-stranded blanks. I think I have some Knit Picks blanks in there too. And so, yeah, and clearly my neighbor's construction is going on now. But did I even set a timer? No. Let's use a handheld one. Okay, I started a timer that started at 30 minutes and I can subtract from there. Okay. So the first thing, I guess we may as well start with the freebie things that Knit Picks sent me. So Knit Picks sent me the project bag that they offered for free. That promotion just ended. But the reason why I'm showing this is, wait, we gotta go. Because I'm also an affiliate with crochet.com. And so currently with a $65 purchase, you can get a free project bag at crochet.com. And it's the same bag base. This is about how big it is. And it has a drawstring closure. Now, one of the current promos with Knit Picks is the free, oh, am I like majorly zoomed in? Yes, I am. Okay, one of their promos right now is the free Try It set when you spend $65. And I have one of those right here. And so, again, Knit Picks sent me this for free, but I realized and I looked, I bought myself a Try It set before getting circular interchangeable needles way back in 2011. So that's how long I've been using the Knit Picks wooden needles. And so this Try It set has a set of, I think that the nickel plated ones are size 7. Yes. And the wooden ones are size 6. But it's the 2 different types of tips that work with the interchangeable cables. And this way you can try it. You can see, oh, do you like the metal or do you like the wood better? And it's a way to get a feel between the 2 before committing and buying like a bigger set. And actually this little pouch fits them really well. It comes with 2 cables also and some cable caps. I think the cables are a decent length. So there's like a shorter one, maybe a 24-inch one, and then a bigger one. So it's a pretty good deal, and I don't mind having extra cables around. And so then when they offered to send me like things for the promos, I said, yes, please. Yes, please. I always need more. They did give me like a full needle set recently. I have a short about that, which was really exciting because it's fun when I get asked to promote a lot of things, and I don't promote a lot of things that I'm asked to promote. But it's really, really fun when I'm asked to promote something that I use anyway, and that I have bought for myself. No, let's go shop. Oh, I guess the other thing with Knit Picks, and again, I'm gonna pop my Knit Picks link in the chat. The other thing with Knit Picks right now is that they're having a, there's a bunch of items that are 30% off. So what, the Ram U? Ba, 2 A's. I can type. Ruth, I'm going to need more help because I can't find that. Let me see. Yarns, the yarn lines. Is it the you and Billy? Because that I have not tried. But, okay, wait, this is exciting, and I'm going to order it, like, today. There's a new roving, and can you tell what's there? This roving, it's expensive, unfortunately, but this Bear Island of Lights roving is 80% merino, 20% stellina! So I'm excited. And they also have, which you can see, that's already in my shopping cart, which I plan to place an order later. I want to try out, I've never tried out one of the swivel cables, so that's in there. And they have new blocking combs that look awesome, which I may not buy now. I may wait for the big sale. But then they have, these ones are 30% off, which is why I get them now. The High Desert, there's a tweed roving, and then the High Desert, just regular roving, which is 100% American wool. And so it's another option. But I'm excited about these blocking combs because it looks like they connect together and that they like rotate. Because one issue I have with using blocking combs sometimes is that, yeah, I sometimes just wish I could have like one edge really straight and have them all connected. And so that intrigues me. And so I'm considering that. Try wood note. Oh, there we go. Ooh. Oh, this is exciting. 34%. No. Notify me. Oh, and that one is also the 2 colors light enough to die. So this is 34% Blue Face Leicester, 33% Mashem, and 33% Merino. That looks like it's going to be an awesome base. But the bear color isn't available yet. So that's a bummer. So I've not tried that. Okay, but let's go to some that I do have for the first time. They have a yak blend now, and I got it in the color Gull. And it is like It's a bouncy twist. Oh, I think I have my... focus. We'll go to autofocus. Okay, so it's got this bouncy 2-ply, and I love it. It sort of reminds me of some of the bounce in twill. So this is called Yakish. It is 55% baby alpaca, 35% superwash merino, 10% yak. And I am so excited, but it's pricier. So here it is. So I got the color Gull. They don't have a bare form, and it's like $12 for 50 grams. So it is on the pricier side, but it is so soft, and the twist is like one that I love, and so I would be very excited to work with this in the future. You want to make sure it was on my radar? Thank you. I did learn that, when it comes to bare yarns at Knit Picks, some bare yarns will be on like their own listing, but if a listing doesn't otherwise have a white, then the bare yarn will be within that listing. Okay, so here's another new one. This is called Salvage. It's a sport weight yarn. Ooh, I actually love the little bit of texture in this. This is 95% cotton, 5% other fiber. And it looks like that it may have some remnants. There's some almost specks in it. It could have some remnants of like, almost like a nap or something. I wonder what the other fibers are, but I think that's the point. I think that they're making it, from the name, it's really soft. I think that they probably are using, like the mill is using leftover things they have, and that's why it's unspecific. But let's see. I forgot that I ordered these, and I am really excited. The only thing I don't know is if the other fiber could be an animal fiber or not, and so that is unknown. So, yeah, and there's likely, this one probably would have dye lot variation because the 5% other fiber probably varies, so. I keep going to the wrong camera. I should change the order. But yes, very, very soft. Okay. All right, and these are some more of my blanks. I think that this is otherwise an order that is all stroll, so. But this is another order, and there should be a lot of boring things. Oh no. In this package. There we go. There should be a oh, thank you someone for ordering from my shop. There should be a lot of boring things in this, but I think one interesting thing. But I'm a little nervous because this box looks too small for the amount of stuff that I ordered. But maybe not. Okay, let's see. We've got a lot of new yarns. Happy crocheting. Cool. All right, I like that it had some paper on top that protects the yarn. Okay. Oh my, that's spam. Okay, I got 2 bags, a swish. I got the thing that I'm excited about that I'll show you in a minute. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bags of stroll. Oh my God. I'm not going to bother taking those out because I think that that's everything that's in here. So, but this does bring me to thinking ahead to the big sale and thinking ahead about what discounts and things might come. Because I tend to order, I think I got these with a coupon code. I order 20 packs of bare yarn, and those come at 15% off. But I did a little bit of math. And we'll go over here. All right, I did some math. And so there's Knit Picks has a coupon code that's build your own yarn pack. And so if you're gonna buy 10 or more skeins from the same yarn line, then you can use the coupon code MyYarnPack at checkout through the end of 2024, and you'll get 10% off. And the only restriction is that you need 10 skeins in the same yarn line. So you could probably do 10 different colors of stroll, or you could do 10 skeins of bare stroll. But during the big sale, when yarn will be up to 60% off, this coupon code should stack with the discounted prices. It has in years past. And so then if an item is marked down 10%, if you're going to get 10 skeins, you would instead be saving, I don't know why my text is so small. You would instead be saving 19% if you stack that. And so that's a better deal than buying a 20 pack of bare yarn. And so similarly, like because of the way that it's off of the discounted code, the total percent off gets smaller by the time you get to 60%. But this is something I keep in mind when it comes to the yarn that I buy all the time and what I might want to stack up on during the big sale. Now, historically, at the end of, when the big sale is over, for the past 3 years, we've had a 25% off coupon on Black Friday, and that has stacked with the bulk bare yarn discount. So if you had a 20% off coupon, it would be a 32% savings. If it was 25%, a 36% savings. And so I keep this in mind when it comes to stocking up. If I need more of a yarn base, I will order it sooner. But otherwise, I tend to wait and will aim for things that I can get that are more than 30% off. So anyway, that's a little bit of my strategy. But it looks like all the yarn arrived, and so that's good to see, because I'm pretty sure, I'm going to double check, 80. There should be 80 strolls. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, looks like there is. So that's good. And then, but the thing that I got that's exciting is this. So this is something that a contact at Knit Picks told me about. They could not send me a free sample because it's not their product. They are a distributor. You know, they got a distribution agreement. Oh, and it's been almost 15 minutes, so we can go back to the yarn. But these are apparently acid dyes in a tea bag with citric acid. And so then you're supposed to be able to use it in a mason jar, and it's supposed to be fairly mess-free and things like that. And so I got a 2-pack that has this turquoise and eggplant color, which I'm really excited to try out. If you are like on Patreon, or if you're a member of the channel at the postdoc level, I'll probably do these for this month's behind the scenes live stream because I'm excited about them. But yeah, I couldn't get a free sample, so I was a little sad. But I'm proud of myself for asking because I can't even say how much money I spend at Knit Picks every year. It is in the thousands. And so that's another reason when I go and I talk about, and I'll probably have a live stream on Monday where I'll go through and we'll talk about my big sale strategy and stuff. But the reason why I have a big shopping strategy is that I order hundreds of skeins in November from Knit Picks because I use them throughout the following year. I stock up, right? And I want to take advantage of discounts when I can. And I also like to get things to overdye. And sometimes there's freebies or other bonuses. Like I mentioned at the Try It needle set, here are 2 pictures that I took of mine. And so because I want to take advantage and try to get all the freebies I can, which I have a bit of an ethical question now. But anyway, that's why I try to plan things out and divide up my orders and think about, Will there be a % off coupon later on? What do I want to buy now versus buy later? How can I get the best deal? But okay, here's my ethical dilemma. Because they sent me, like, I want to place an order because I want some of those new rovings to arrive. They sent me a free try it set already. Is it ethical if I place an order today for me to use the coupon code and get another one? I don't know. I don't know if that goes against the spirit of the freebie or not. Seems like the dye thing could be relative child friendly, with the dye powder being in a discreet packet that you don't need to open. Yes, one thing, Lucian, that I plan to test out with these dye packs, the tea bags, is I want to test the fallout. Because if, like, we'll have like maybe a damp paper towel on the counter and I'll like shake it over it. Because if there's a lot of, and I will be wearing a respirator mask when I use these, because that's the big thing I want to see. How comfortable am I with having something like this? Now, I think that I use a lot of dye powders, so I sometimes will put a mask on if I'm using Kool-Aid for a lot of things, just so that way to protect my lungs. So, you know, the amount of exposure that you're dealing with is also worth considering. And these are, unfortunately, a little pricey. I'm standing up, I promise. So for $22, you get the 2-pack of colors, and that comes with like 4 tea bags total. And so that's enough to dye 400 grams of fiber. The darkest colors. Obviously, you could dye more at lighter colors. So that is way, way pricier when you consider that maybe for the most expensive color at Dharma Trading Company, it's $10 for like for 2 ounces, which dyes like 50 skeins, right? And so it's something that I am not the target customer for this, but I should review it because someone interested in getting started may be the target customer. You think, yes, it's okay? Hi, Arlene. What you've missed so far is me just doing some base colors. So I let things sit for 15 minutes, and we're going to see where we are. These are sock blanks that have sat with acid, and I need to make sure I actually put the correct camera on. I did. Look at me go. Oops. Okay, and so this was in some pecan brown, and you can see we have sort of like a tea-dyed, aged color on here. That actually is a little more even than I expected, but that's not bad. So we have this ready to go with some wild colors. I am going to set it aside just until I'm ready to use it, because I'm going to need to set up the countertop. Now the other blanks that we have going on are right here, and let's see. There is some color in there, but most of the color is in the yarn. And so if I were to lift these up right now, you can see that, ooh, we're gonna have loads of variation in here. But see how little color is left just in that short period of time? And so we're gonna go ahead and stencil on top of things, I guess very, very soon. I need to dry my hands. Because I have guar gum and all kinds of things. But now I need color suggestions. Because I think the blues are a little more exciting to look at, so I think we'll start with those. And maybe I would just stick with navy. Should I also do brown? I'll set up a poll, okay? Okay, because I think we'll start with some stenciling, and we can always go to freehand. How do I set up a poll? Oh no, is that not an option anymore? Start a poll, there we go. what color should I stencil on top? Navy, brown, combo, ew, something else. Okay, there should be a poll at the top of the screen. Hot fuchsia on the blues and greens. If you use yellow as your stencil color, how green would the final be really? Ooh, it depends on the proportions. It really does. And I'm not planning on doing these two blanks the exact same way. We can do different things. Just for one of them, I think I want to go with navy. And I have to decide what stencil to use. So I've never used this stencil, and I'm pretty obsessed with it. Like this, I feel like you can barely see it. This is my vibe. Do I have something dark that I can put on here? Oh. So I'm going to recycle this anyway. Okay. So there. This stencil I'm obsessed with. Okay. But I think that if I want to use this, I should use this on the brown one and really let the colors, because that brown is more of a background. So I'm going to set you aside. I don't think I'm going to go for the DNA ones. I've got these little birds. Maybe I would bring that in if I was doing something more freehand. What do we have? Some of these are dirty. Oh, that's another DNA one. Ooh, that one is very like wintry. This one actually could be pretty fun. It's very like knitter ferile themed. So, okay, that is a contender. This one is also very pretty, but I feel, I don't know. This one, my concern is that the details are so small that it might not work as well. Okay, that's the cool Southwest vibe. Not what I want today. Maybe I've used this one before, but this is a similar issue to the other one. Now, this one I've used multiple times, and so I do like that one. This is a fun one to do something like mermaidy, and it worked actually really nicely. So maybe that's a contender for one of these blue blanks. Maybe that's the one we should do the pink or something with. Got that one. Let's see. We have this one that is like literally supposed to look like knit lace, which worked surprisingly well. That's another favorite, but I like the ones that sort of repeat versus be a tile. I don't know if I've ever tried this one. Maybe, oh, maybe I did. See, those little lines are too small. And I have a dandelion one, which is so cute. I don't know how well it would work. So maybe we should try this one later. Or we could try this on one of the blues. So I would say my contenders right now are, I want to finally try this one today. I just don't know on what base. But I think I'm going to go geometric against the softness for the first one. The hot fuchsia on the brown, that would be really pretty as well. Okay. Okay, but we need to think about the color that we're going to use on top. And it looks like navy is winning. Okay, so I think I'll set up navy, but we can always decide. Ooh, navy on blue with brown. Ooh, ooh. Okay, we can always decide to do more as we go on. So, we are not limited. I need a cup. Oh no, I think I had to throw away some of my brushes, which is, oh, I need to get my safety glasses, which is unfortunate. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to need to lighten the colors a bit. Because it's not going to be the straight stock solution. The stuff is so thick. So I made my guar gum mixture, this is way too thick, at a ratio of 1.5 teaspoons of guar gum per 2 cups of 1.5 teaspoons of guar gum with 2 cups of water. And normally I've been doing 1 teaspoon of guar gum and then diluting it. But here we are with, okay, so we had a 1/4 cup of a 1% stock solution of dark navy with 1/3 of a cup of the guar gum mixture, in case anyone is curious. I have stencils all over my floor. This feels like it's a bit of a safety hazard. I may have made in my attempt to make it my things easier for myself, I may have made it a little too thick. So that just means it's going to be a little chunky to start. So when I make the guar gum, so that way I can get it smooth without chunks, I always will use a magic bullet, and I do this in my cooking kitchen because I don't have a dedicated ChemKnits little blender or of any kind. And what I do is I use a new takeout container to put everything in that now, because it's sitting here on the counter, that's a dedicated die container now. Yeah, and that's how I do it. So I do it, and then I set up the kitchen to be a ChemKnits kitchen, and then we're good to go. So we're just going to give this a good stir. We have some chunks, but it should be pretty good. This paper towel is damp, and I put on the color, and it's not spreading that much, and that's sort of the point. Because if I took a drop, I poured a drop of the liquid dye from this cup on, and that spread, which I don't know if you could see that, but I have a number of videos showing with and without guar gum that we could look at later. But I'm going to need to move. Oh man, Rebecca. Okay, I'm going to need to move my whole kitchen around. So actually, while I'm doing some putting pans away so I can move these dyes off of my countertop, I'm going to give you guys an ad break. Let's see. There we go. You may or may not see one, and don't worry. What you're calling the snowflake reminds you of barn quilts? Yes, it is very barn quilty. Let's see. Oh, Rebecca. Sorry. I forgot to turn off that timer. Okay. Steam pans are dry. Where is my... Let's set up the steamer basket. Ugh. Or at least have that over here. Let's not step on all the stencils because that is not very mindful of myself. And I really don't need a fall. I really, really don't need another injury. Okay. Now on Tuesday, I injured my foot and it hurts, and I'm having some flashback trauma from when I injured my back. And so I'm afraid that by walking on it, it's going to hurt worse later. But I think it's probably fine, but it doesn't hurt constantly. It just hurts a little bit. Okay. I reorganized everything. Okay. Keith doubled the height of my ChemKnits shelf, and guess where the ChemKnits, see, look, it even says ChemKnits on the top, plastic wrap is. The plastic wrap was on the floor beneath the shelves because that is my organization, apparently. Okay, now I have done some experiments with this, and the colors have struck fast enough that I may not actually need plastic wrap, but if I'm going to go through the effort of free hand painting, stenciling, we're going to want to sort of keep things where I've placed it and be able to put things in a steamer basket without having color transfer. And so that's why I'm using plastic wrap. And right now with it on the counter, you can see why this is dedicated ChemKnits plastic wrap, because it's touching everything. Okay. But this is also going to protect my work surface. So, wear good shoes. I mean, I'm wearing Crocs. It's the top of my foot. It's really annoying. But it may mean, even though I have tons of ideas and tons of plans, that could be a reason why the stream doesn't continue too long. Okay. Here we are. Okay, we're going to take one of the blanks, squeeze out that liquid, set the other back aside, and then we're going to spread this out. Now, on its own, on its own, this is a fun sock blank, right? So just on its own, I could be done. I could sell this, and that could be the end of it. But I just felt the urge to paint, and maybe at the end, if we have a lot of like guar gum mixtures, then I would either on stream or later on, or who knows, maybe I'll stream more this weekend. We'll do something. But this base is gorgeous. But you can see just how quickly the colors strike, and how having it sort of pooled up, and how having things pooled up can make a difference. I have words, I promise. I don't know, it's very pretty. So I want to do this design on this one and have it feel like a bit of a winter sweater almost. And we're going to start approximately in the middle. And so the first thing I'm going to do is press the stencil down. Now, it's not forming a seal, but the water is helping it stick a little bit. Oh no, did it? Oh no, it didn't freeze. I just wasn't moving. Okay, and we got our dye. And now I've got my paintbrush and my very thick dye, my little chunky dye. And I'm going to start applying it. Now, navy dye can sometimes look very, extremely purple before it comes into acid and is heat set. But we do have acid in with our yarn, just not with our dye. And so here I am dripping some on another place, but that is okay. and stenciling on. Now, there are going to be some areas that are going to be less saturated with color, areas that are going to be more saturated with color, and that is all fine. The main thing that I'm doing here is I'm dabbing the color on, except for when I go over, we have a little oops. That's okay. I'm dabbing the color versus physically painting. I suppose I could try to do more painting, but I find that I get a little bit more payoff if I go through and dab it. Now, I have so many videos where I've played around with things like this, including using dry dye powders with my stenciling, which also does work. So that's pretty fun. So yeah, I just wanted to come and play. And these are, like, in a video, this is normally something that then would become a time lapse because, I don't know, I tend to require like a fair amount of focus, or when I'm talking and doing this, it's then a pain to try to edit that because my brain goes all over the place. But the dye is going really far, and I'm happy with the depth of color that I'm seeing right now. Now, is my application perfect? No. Will there be resist from the stitches themselves? Yeah. So we could get some more modeling and speckling from this. I have a Michael's Reward certificate, and I should get more foam brushes. That's what I should order, because these are getting kind of old, but they work well. I just should also make some kind of note for myself that I don't need to make the guar gum this thick, but I didn't know how much liquid I would want to add. And this is the thing where even if I have a proportion and I'm like, Rebecca, this proportion works well, sometimes I decide to do something different. Now, we're almost done with this round right here, right? But the thing I'll say is that before I go and do more, we're going to remove the stencil, right? Okay, so the pattern isn't perfect, right? But the stars are really pretty. And in some places we do have some thin lines. But you can see how some of those designs where all the lines are really thin, I was a little unsure about. And so some of this is when I'm pushing the dye in, I could be moving things slightly and things like that. But this is still really geometric and pretty, and I'm really happy. So what I need to do right now is clean this. I need to clean the stencil. Before I move on, because I don't want to introduce any dye in. And then I'm bringing it over, and yes, there is some water in it. But I'm going to attempt to line things up nicely so we can carry on. And I may need to re-spread out the blank in some areas so it fits. But it's not perfectly flat, and it's not about being perfect. It's about having fun and creating something that we think is really pretty. So sometimes the stencils, you can, when you go back to them, you can, I need to move it down a little bit. Sometimes when you go back to the stencils, you can tell where to place it by overlapping it a little bit. This one doesn't do that. This one you just kind of have to line up. And so, yeah, so one concern about some of my dyes being super thick, and this time I'm not pressing in as much. I'm doing a much lighter overall press. But so the problem with potentially having some chunks in here could give us, could mean that there's some more liquid patches, and so could give us a little bit more blurring or spread of the color, but also maybe not. Hard to say. That was really thick, Rebecca. But I don't know. I enjoy doing this, and I feel like I don't do it that much. But the fun thing about having these time lapses is that then I have them, and so I can use those to make some content and maybe convince people to watch some videos. Of course, also by doing this, people would be like, oh my gosh, her stenciling skills are so bad. But I mean, the thing is that this is all just about fun. And that's the thing with yarn dyeing, is that it's all just about what you enjoy. And it almost doesn't matter the way someone else would do it. As long as you're not creating a mess in your house or doing something that is completely unsafe, you are good. And I'll check the chat again in a moment. I also, of course, remembered that part of my plan of the day was to have a shop update already. And I was going to have a listing where I was going to let people like pre-order some of the blanks that I'm dyeing today. But clearly I didn't set that up. And so, but things that you can pre-order are the ChemKnits Chanukah yarn. And that's the pinned comment in the, that comment should be pinned in the chat. Woohoo! And so let's pull this up. The 2024 ChemKnits Chanukah yarn should be shipping maybe starting end of next week. If I'm lucky, so everything is dyed. I just have to wrap and ship. Dollar Tree has foam brushes, cheap and decent. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Are the designs visible when the yarn is knit? No. The designs will not be visible when the designs will not be visible when the yarn is knit, unfortunately. And the main reason for that is that as I press this down, we'll dry it off. The main reason that the designs are not visible is that the gauge of the sock blank, it's knit looser, so that way you can get more coverage. It's a little bit looser than what you might do for knitting yarn. And when you unravel this into 250-gram balls of yarn, and then you go ahead and start using those, you are going to, even if you hit the same, oh gosh, that's a lot of dye right there. Even if you hit the same gauge, I think the pooling would not be exactly the same, so you wouldn't get the design. It's more like you can get a hidden message, right? And so that's why I tried song lyrics once, because you could have a message in there that is sort of like secret. And if I could draw and say like, draw, for example, Pokemon or something, you could create yarn that had a Pokemon on it, which actually I did once with a stencil I made. But you could create a Pokemon inspired yarn, knit it for a Pokemon lover, and it's like, it's almost like that design is in the DNA of the yarn now, right? So it's not visible, but the essence is there. And so that's something that is really fun about doing a sock blank. The other thing I love about sock blanks is that they're very low pressure. And the reason why I call it low pressure is that if I make a mistake and drop some dye right there, it doesn't really matter because it's going to get unraveled at some point. Unless you are a elementary schooler and I did a Pokemon sock blank for you and then you won't let your mom unravel it. Oh man. But I don't know, I try. Yeah, so in some places the stencil comes up a little bit. That's fine. We're still making a really pretty design here. And I guess we can start thinking about what we want to do on the next one. Now I have some single stranded blanks down here that we can use, and I can probably find some other double-stranded ones as well. I did finish these 3, but so we can think about that and what other base colors to use, because the question, which I'll probably have a put a poll up shortly before we go and start wrapping this one up. Well, I guess one of the big questions for me is, should we do mermaid next, or do we want to try dandelion? And so if we do mermaid, we could do multiple colors. We don't have to stick with just one color. So like I've done it where I've dabbed like so many different colors on the blank at once. And so you have options, but the sound effects are clearly important. Okay, now 2 other tips for using guar gum. This is so pretty. I am so unbelievably happy. Where is my phone? Fine. Oh, no. This is really fun. I don't remember what I was going to say. That's okay. Cleaning this up a little bit before. I need to set up my steamer basket anyway. So we could do, all right, I should set up a poll before we go ahead and do that. And I see some questions. Okay. Let's sit down, because the thing is, like, I can see the chat, but I can't really read it. I'm curious. Lucas or Ryder? Oh no, it was a customer. I think the other chat favorite elementary student. Let's see. I need to make a poll. Next, pick the next project. Blue. Okay. We got a poll. Let's see, the 4 options. The 4 poll choices are blue, so basically the same base we did this time. Blue with the mermaid scales, and we could do it with just pink. We could do pink and some other colors. We could think about that further. We could do the tan brown base that is very little variation, and we could do that with the dandelion on it. No, I don't want to end the poll. I want to see the whole poll. Oh yeah, the blue with the mermaid, the blue with the dandelion design, probably in brown, and it would be mostly blue throughout the whole thing. It would just have a bit of the dandelion pattern at one end, and maybe I would add some seeds going up. We'll see how it works. It may not work well, but we'll try. So blue with the dandelion. We could do the dandelion in another color on that tan base, or using the brown base with tons of colors. And so, yes. Yes, yes. And please subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. And now I'm going to insert an ad break while we have the poll going on, as I move things around for the millionth time. Okay. I need... We'll start this boiling. It's funny, I may have tons of guar gum left over today. Oh, that's what I was going to start saying. The thing with guar gum is that you don't want to let it dry on the yarn. And you also don't want it too thick because it gets harder to wash out. It is soluble, and so I don't know if you feel the texture in there like a glob, then maybe you would want to use warm water. I've never had trouble rinsing it out. But I think there was an old dyeing tutorial called the Unicorn Farts tutorial or something, and they cautioned me about that. But anyway. Oh, okay. This is what I wanted to do. But not be on nitpicks. Hee hee, me, my shop. Okay, so the pinned comment is about the ChemKnits Chanukah sampler. But before we go there, the Halloween mystery yarn, this is going to go away really soon. I'm not signed in. That's so weird. You can't see if I do the drop down. So unfortunately, all the Neon Neps yarn has sold out for the Halloween yarn. But there is the Halloween colorway on yarn without the Neon Neps. So here's the Neon Neps. Here's the other multicolored Neps. Some of it is on that base. That's the not neon multi-Neps. And then the colorway with no Neps is on fingering weight and worsted weight still available. So if it's ordered now, then you can get it still wrapped in Halloween. It'll be wrapped with a progress keeper and shipped in Halloween like shipping bag. But then probably after the weekend, I will take this down, or by the time the next shop update happens, I will be taking this down and putting the listings up as regular listings without any of those extras. So there is that. But what I wanted to talk about was Chanukah. All right. Oh, it looks like the yak sold out. Okay, so we have one add-on right now. And so the Chanukah sampler is available in fingering and DK weight. Every night of Chanukah, there'll be a mini skein for you to unwrap and enjoy while watching a new yarn video that comes out each night. Fingering and DK. So each night will feature a different dyeing technique, different colorway, and this year there's going to be 8 10-gram mini skeins and 1 20-gram mini skein. And the samplers will ship, because wait, is Thanksgiving in 2 weeks? No, it's not. Thanksgiving's in 3 weeks. Okay. I think next week is all going to be me wrapping. I will either start shipping end of next week or beginning early the following week. Okay, there's a little bit, everything, all the pre-orders will be shipped well before Thanksgiving though. And so some past packages. And so stock and DK. And then there's an add-on skein right now. It is a sparkle add-on and it is available in sock weight and DK weight. And it's the same colorway on both. There's also a yak yarn, but that sold out. So yes, and this is so much fun. And Chanukah starts on December 25th this year, which means it's going to go through New Year's into January, which is the first time that this has happened since I've been doing these specials. So, welcome from the UK. Haha, and I'm glad you like the blank. What did I need to do before I stood back up? Ooh, that's fun. Can't believe I didn't notice that had sold out. Okay, and the poll. Oh, guys, this is so close. Technically, we're tied. Technically, we are tied between blue with dandelion and brown base with lots of colors. Oh, no. Okay, we can try to do the dandelion on the blue base. I almost feel like I need a backup plan, though. Promise me that you won't turn off the stream if you find it ugly. Oh, and everyone, please give the stream a thumbs up. Please like and subscribe. Oh man. Okay, we need to wrap this guy up. The steam set it. And so I am using plastic wrap today. I normally don't love using plastic wrap because it's a pain to work with. It's not as good for the environment. Yeah, those are the main reasons. But it will help us protect the design. Okay. And so I'm just adding a little piece on to aid me as I wrap the edges in a little bit. Now, we did not heat set this at all yet. So we have applied 0 heat, but now I'm about to steam set it for a minimum of 30 minutes. Now, as I'm rolling this up, we can see some color went all the way through to the back. In some areas, it is a little patchier, but not in a bad way. Okay, and now I'm gonna pop it in a steamer basket and steam set. And the steamer basket isn't quite boiling yet, so I think I'm gonna do 45 minutes. Because it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. Okay, we need to prep our color for the dandelion, because I'm gonna do brown. You promise you won't leave regardless of how the dandelion turns out. Thank you. That's the assurance that I need. Okay. Glasses on. We're going to have random amount of guargum. And where is my brown? I have a couple browns. A teddy bear brown and pecan. I'm going to go with pecan because it's a little bit more cool toned. And I'm going to do something a little evil and use the same spoon from before. So technically there's a little bit of navy in here too. But like so small. And I did not measure. I measured with my heart. We have more of the guargum mixture than the 1% dye stock that we added though. We want it nice and thick. a little lumpy. So that's part of the issue. If I had made it a little less thick, then it would not be lumpy. And where is my stencil? Okay. How do I open this? It's very pretty. Okay, clearly the green will be at the bottom and the blue will be at the top, because that just makes sense. Gasp, Evil and Rebecca. Oh man. I did just watch Agatha all along. Is that my witchy era? There's some holes in this. That's annoying. Oh, So usually 2 passes should be enough. There may be some holes in it. It is what it is. This one, though, should have less stencil on things. Okay. Oh, and I suppose I can show you. And we may reuse this dye bath. This is how much water is in here. This has been sitting out for, I did this very soon after we started the stream. And so, yeah, some colors with my tap water will start striking with very, very little anything. Now you'll notice that as I'm setting this up, I'm blocking it a bit. That's because I'm making it wider. That's because to fit the stencils better, that helps. It gives us sort of like a flat, even surface to work with. Yeah, so that's what I have done historically. You know what would be really nice to do this on? Like a blocking board with some of those like combs. Current status, making a shawl with sleeves for your birthday party. Woohoo! You love Agatha? That's what we're doing now. We're circling back to watch WandaVision, which I was obsessed with. Of course, I always love redheaded characters and things, so. Okay. Okay, we have our blank. We have our stencil. Now, the thing that may work in our favor here is that these features are tiny, but these ones are a little close together, so we'll see. There's totally a light in the way. Come on, lift up a little bit. I'm going to use a smaller brush. Oh my. I don't have as many foam brushes as I thought. I think I threw a bunch away. So I may use like a real paintbrush for this one. We'll see how this goes. I know it looks like things are slightly off screen for you, and I apologize for that. But let's paint up the length of the stems. And we'll go sort of like width. patterning. And the thing is, I do not have to do, and actually maybe I won't do all of those dandelion seeds down here. Ooh, that's a good question. Give me feedback in the chat if I should do just a couple of them, because then we could do more going up versus going across. All right, now comes the moment of truth. I cannot read the chat from over here. I need to reduce the heat. Paper basket is sputtering. All right, let's go for I'm focused. Kind of wish the brown was a little darker, but I think it'll be nice that it's not like black. Because see, if I do this differently, okay, so yeah, just let me know if you think, and I'm not doing an official poll, if you think that I should move it or if I should do some of the seeds where they are. See, this time I'm just painting over a little bit. I have a feeling that we're going to get some good old blobs, but maybe it'll still feel a little dandelion-y. I don't know. See, of course, I see something that may be either a yes or a no. I will come and look at the chat, but unfortunately, I don't know which way would be yes or which way would be no. So this one right here, I'm going to do. If you're just tuning in, I've mixed my dyes with guar gum, so that way they will not spread as much. If I was doing this with just straight liquid dyes, the details would not be recognizable at all, and they still may not be. Let's see. Do all the seeds and then do it as you go up? Do all of them? Okay. Can I cheat and look? Wait, is it 10 Things About You where it's like it's strictly forbidden? What movie was the strictly forbidden from? Oh man. I'm showing my age, everybody. I'm wondering, because I feel like some of these I'm going under a little bit. Ugh. I don't know. I'm so nervous. Especially because I don't have my foam brush, and I'm like, oh, what if some of my see what's it are going underneath the surface, like some of the I don't bristles. That's the word. Okay. It's the moment of truth. I am very, very, very nervous. Okay. Here we go. Oh, man. The details are too fine for yarn. I mean, you get like a dandelion-y feel, kind of. Okay. I'm going to sort of like dry this up here by like patting it on. And then what I'm going to do is go like this, and we're not going to do all of them this time. Oh no, I totally messed that one up. Trying to make them more sparse. Okay. Is that my dandelion portrait? Do I need like, I don't think there's really much dye on the bottom. Need like one there. Need like, I don't know. I did what I didn't want to do. Let's put that back down. Let's do all right, what do we think? All right, chat, you tell me, do we need more or leave good enough alone? I mean, I would say it doesn't look that bad. Like, on your screen, it looks pretty good. In person, I feel like it looks awful. Oh, man. Like, what have I done? More? I'm afraid to do, like, oh, man. I'm gonna give it a minute because I feel like, and I'm gonna restart this timer with just 20 minutes left because the temp got up. And I could put something else in while that's going, but I also don't have to. There's like a rogue little dandelion here. I'm gonna share this to my stories. Oh, share to Instagram stories. What have I done? And we'll also add one of these. Okay. Like, looking at the thumbnail here, I think it looks pretty cool. Like, I need to take a better picture because my thumb was in that one. It's just, I know as soon as the stitches come together, those look so blobby. But it looks so good on your camera. Like, really good on your camera. Maybe one or two towards the end. Okay. Sure. That I can do. That we can do. Let's have them go like up this way. So, okay, so think about this, because it'll get unraveled, right? It's going to get unraveled at one point. And when it's unraveled, these will be almost like brown speckles that'll get like, oh dear, as I spill that everywhere. It'll be almost like brown speckles. Let's do one more, like. did damage the stencil, which is a little unfortunate, but is what it is. Phone smaller view is better than the TV image. Exactly. Like if you squint, then it looks fantastic. Now, the other sort of nice thing about things sitting out a little bit is that it gives a little bit of time for some of these colors to soak in. And so I think this one I'll start wrapping up from this end because then I won't need to add any plastic to it, plastic over it, but it's just going to sit for a little bit, which is fine. Okay. The next question will be, which one of these are we going to do over the brown? Ugh. I don't know. I don't know. I've done either way, it's probably going to take over a lot of the brown because that's what's going to happen. But I don't know. Yeah, I agree, but that having like a couple more helps. I hate having tons of blank space. Oh, it looks so cool small. But you guys, it's so bad. But I mean, here's the thing. We tried something. We took a risk. And the nice thing is that this can then be unraveled. Now, I may have had better luck using a very fine tipped paintbrush and like painting these little details in versus trying to use a stencil. The geometric one, not the mermaid with lots of colors. Okay. And the fun thing about doing that with lots of colors is that my paintbrush is going to be going like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like it's going to be going back into a lot of different things. So it should be fun. And the nice thing is a tan is a base that can take like almost any color. But we'll set that up shortly. But we have to be patient. Oh, I was washing my hands so I could get a beverage. And let's not step on my phone. Okay. But see, as we're sitting here, and I'm going to promote things again, and I will probably pop in, yes, the KnitPicks, my KnitPicks affiliate link. Oops, I should say that is link. Okay. The thing with this is that if my affiliate link is the last one you clicked on, and you make a purchase when the big sale starts on Monday, I still get credit. The tracking lasts for until you for a week or so, or until you click on someone else's affiliate link. And so it knows, but not in a super creepy way. So I get no information about the customer. I can't really tell what you've ordered or what. All I can tell is that, oh, you clicked on the link that I made that I tagged with today's date. And I can't tell who it is. You're dying Chanukah Advent minis as you speak. Oh, that's so fun. Okay, that is not anything important. Good. I'm like, why is my phone making noise? And so that is, yeah. So, if you're waiting for the big sale and don't want to place an order yet, that is fine. Just click on my link. It's a win-win way, especially if you were going to place an order anyway. It's a win-win way. But wait, why was I? Oh, I didn't want to go to their website. I wanted to go to, I'll probably go through all of this on Monday, but I already mentioned the deals on Knit Picks right now, the Build Your Own Value Pack. I'm trying to see if there is anything else. No, but we can look at last year's sale to see what happened. Ooh, these snapbags are real nice. Real nice. I bought one. I think I didn't want to wait for the freebie, so I bought one and I forget which it's for. But you can kind of see a little bit on this picture here that it's a mesh bag, which will keep the yarn clean, and then you can kind of use it like a mobile yarn bowl and just have like the strands coming through. And so I haven't actually used it. So last year they sent a calendar in with the whole deal. They're not doing that this year, I asked. And so the big sale, let's see, they had free calendars, free project bags, free travel sets. Those were so nice. Free snap bag, free chart keeper. The chart keepers are also really nice. I went ahead and bought one so that way like maybe I could show because I didn't want to wait. But because of all these like freebies with purchase, this is a reason why I split up the things I order, because I'm like, oh, okay, if I want, you know, this free travel kit that maybe I wouldn't buy, but I want it, right? Then I want to be able to have $100 order for that day. And again, I'm buying hundreds of skeins of yarn, and I know I'm doing that. So I'm not buying something just for the sake of getting the freebie necessarily. It's instead of placing an $1,000 order on the first day, I'm dividing it up because since I'm planning on buying that yarn, then I can get all the freebies. But what this doesn't have is some of the different, those are the freebies, but there's some other special days that, what did we have last year? So those are the freebies, the daily deals. Okay, they had a day with discounted ball winders, inexpensive ebooks, hook sets, discount on the needle sets, discount on totes and cases, exclusive patterns, 10% off value packs. These are the big ones. The $246 day, which used to be $135, but inflation made it $246. So this is the one day where I would conceivably make a purchase at both Knit Picks and Crochet.com. They usually have the same items discounted, but there is a max of 5 per item with the $246 deal last year. So I would place an order on each site. And things tend to go really quickly. So that's one that, like, right when things start is one you want to take advantage of. Oh yeah, I got Swish Roving. It was marked down to $4 on both sites. And I guess of the two, it looks like that there was Bare Imagination was at Knit Picks and not on Crochet.com. Anything else? Discount on hooks and needles. So that's what we had last year. What did we have in 2022? Pick your promo. Ooh, yeah, you could get the, you could get either like a chart keeper or a clutch. I think I got, one of these years I got like a hook set or something. Maybe this is what I got, the $5 bright hook set. I think. Okay, and see, in 2022, there's the 135 deal. There's me. I don't have a thumbnail yet because I don't know what the things are going to look like. But anyway, I will go live on Monday to chat about what we know and to shop with all of you. There's a chance I may have already placed an order by the time the live stream is. But here's a picture of some of the things I bought last year. Oh, I got the free project bag, but there were some Bare yarns, and then, yeah, mostly I buy Bare yarn. But I did get I got some of this Y2K yarn, I think in that color right there, because I was excited. So that's some of the shopping that we'll do probably on Monday. Have I ever ordered wholesale? Yes, I have. So I have ordered with the KnitPicks wholesale account. And let me log in. Let's see. Log out. Account. Nope, let's do the other one. And so the wholesale got less. Oh dear. Wait. Is the wholesale gone? Because I logged in as my wholesale account, which you can't see me do it, and I'm on the main website. Wholesale portal. Log in. Okay, I can't access my wholesale account anymore. Maybe they removed it because I haven't used it in a while. But they used to have wholesale, but I think that the best deal, at one point wholesale you could get 40% off your bulk bare yarn purchases, which was great. Then that decreased to 30%. And that is good. And I think 30 and 20% for a lot of things. Not every yarn base was available with the 30%. And I think to get 30%, you had to buy 100 at once. And so I sort of stopped using it because sometimes I would get a % off coupon, and well, I did the math here, which is really small, but okay, let's make it bigger. But if you're buying the bulk bare 20 pack is 15% off. If there's a 20% off coupon code, then I'm going to get a 32% discount on 20 skeins, and coupon codes didn't work in the wholesale platform. And so it was like, okay, I get almost as good of a discount if I have a coupon code on the main site. And the main site had a lower free shipping minimum. And so I don't know, I may need to reach out and see if I lost wholesale access, but when they got rid of the 40% off, then that was less attractive to me. Cat decided you wanted cuddles. That's cute. And so I do order wholesale from Wool to Die For, whose prices are better. There are some yarn bases I like better from Wool to Die For. Some yarn bases I like better from KnitPicks. I like Stroll, I think, better than Platinum. But the problem is that it's not worth buying mini skeins through KnitPicks. Their mini skeins are really there as a sample. Each one comes with a label on it. It's not intended for a dyer who wants to dye a lot of mini skeins for some kind of sampler that they're selling. It's more to test out before you invest in more of it. And so the other reason why I continue to use KnitPicks is less about the affiliate relationship that I have, because I feel like I became a KnitPicks affiliate in 2017 or 2018. So, and I mean, maybe 2018, because that's the first time I had a post about the big sale on my website. And so that's my guess. But I've been shopping with KnitPicks since I started ChemKnits, maybe even before, since 2007, 2008. And so I have been a customer for a very long time before it. So I have a bit of loyalty to them for that. because of that history of me being a customer. And also, I remember when I went and was first shopping for bear yarn, and I wanted to dye yarn, and I wanted to see like the best way to do it. And so many sites had high minimums, and I was very nervous about buying a 10-pack or 20-pack of yarn when I didn't know if I liked the yarn. But Knit Picks, I knew their yarns already, and so I started buying the bare version of Palette because that was my favorite yarn for knitting with. And so I felt comfortable buying it because I knew what to expect, because I worked with it before, and I could buy a single skein when I was placing an order for something else. And so that made it really unintimidating for me. Not to mention that Palette at the time, bare Palette, was really inexpensive. Maybe it was $4 or $6 for 100 grams, maybe $6. I don't know what it is at now. Okay, so maybe it must have been at $4 or something. Because if it's $6.99 now, then it must have been like $4 or something. So it was very affordable for me to do. Yeah, and so that's one of the first ones, 100% wools, I ever dyed. And so, yeah, I found it to be unintimidating to do that. And so that's another reason why I promote it, because one of my goals is to be unintimidating with yarn dyeing. And I mean, I try to share everything that I use. So if I'm ordering yarn from Wool to Dye For, I'm promoting them. I don't have an affiliate link. I don't get any benefit from doing that other than being honest and transparent with all of you. So that's the benefit there. As I go to the counter, because we're going to turn off the timer and take the yarn out of the steamer basket. Now, I could have added this yarn right here on the counter to the steamer basket as well, but the reason why I didn't is just because the yarn was almost done. And so here's the first one we did. I'm going to let it cool off, and we are going to wrap this guy up. But we're going to start at the top end. And the nice thing is that if we get color transfer in here, I don't really mind, because that's just more dandelions. I didn't even fold the edges in. I'm not that concerned about things moving around. The stems looked really good from this. I just unceremoniously, hopefully this doesn't cause a problem, flopped it into the steamer basket. That was not... I recommend carefully putting things in the steamer basket. But, all right, we got to think about colors that we're going to use. But there was a question. Have I ever sold any of my yarn through a local shop or fiber festival? No, I have not. And a couple reasons for that. As I bring out some cups and we grab some colors. So one reason is that I haven't done any shops or anything. I'm a very small batch dyer, which means that I guess I want a fair amount of each color. I am a small batch dyer, so I only ever have 2 to 3 skeins of a colorway, and I don't ever really dye sweater quantities worth. And a lot of the colorways I dye are one of a kind. And so that's a lot harder to deal with at like a shop or a festival. The other reason why I haven't done shops are that they often will want like 40% or 50% of the yarn if you're doing like a split, or they'll want like wholesale. And like a very standard wholesale for retail is that they pay you 50% of retail price. I will not make a profit if I do that. My margins are not good enough. I probably need to raise all the prices in my shop, and that makes me sad. But I haven't raised the prices in my shop for years, and the prices of all my supplies keep going up. And so I'm gonna need to do something. Okay, let's think colors. There was a request for hot fuchsia. Let's do some pink, hot pink. We're gonna do some red because I have that. So I have another pink. I have deep magenta. I have primaries, so I could mix colors. So let me know what colors that you would want to see. But yeah, I'd say the margins are probably the biggest reason why I haven't. And that's a little bit sad. We've pretty much killed this guy. Although I feel weird about saying killed and then using a color called oxblood. Feel a little weird about that. Okay, some hot fuchsia. Measuring with my heart. Yeah, and I know a lot of indie dyers do really, really well at festivals or doing wholesale. I think that if I had the capacity to dye more yarn all at once, so if I had like a steam cabinet, or I had like my techniques like more averaged out, then maybe I would be able to, because then the labor portion of everything becomes less of an issue. But being like completely honest, the labor costs are a huge thing to consider. And so if the material cost margins are low, okay, so if my material costs are kind of high because I'm not getting the cheapest things anyway, then yeah, then if you factor in, okay, I need to pay myself, then it gets a bit harder. And so, and unfortunately, there's a big dyer who was sharing the cost of going to a festival. And I think it cost like thousands of dollars for her to attend the festival. And that is, you know, special insurance, like renting a trailer to bring the yarn to the festival, the booth fees, and all that. And so then when you get to that, then like your break-even point gets further and further away. But there's a lot of dyers that like most of their income comes from festivals. Okay, so we have a pink, we have a red. What other colors do we want? I could do ooh, let's do like blue. So I'm like, I don't necessarily want to go for Caribbean, but I could. Ooh, we could do like, it's like a battle of primaries. Okay, so we have pink, we've got red, we've got blue. We've got some navy, should we want it. We have some more brown. I feel like maybe I added too much liquid to this one. I don't know. We'll just stir for a bit. La, 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 la. It's like, you guys want to hear me sing? No, nobody wants to hear you sing, Rebecca. Do, 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 do. Okay. What are you? Ooh, we have mystery green. We have a mystery green, which is likely radioactive. Or not radioactive. It's likely chartreuse. That's what I meant. But at the proportion, oh my. But this one is probably not a 1% depth of shade. This one was probably the 0.33 approximately percent that I used for, I probably used that for Halloween. Yay for mystery colors, right? Because I was going to grab the spearmint and then realized, oh, I should go for this. Let's see. Started dyeing last November, and I've been wanting to participate in a festival for exposure, but the cost has made you apprehensive. Yes, I think that the exposure can be really good. And that's the one thing for anyone who's interested in getting started on, like, having a dyeing business. It's really important to consider how you're going to get people to you. And so honestly, I would be tempted to go for a smaller fiber festival. For example, I don't know what booth fees are, but if I was ever going to do a booth, the one I would be more likely to do would be a sheep shearing festival that takes place nearby me in Massachusetts. And there they do all kinds of sheep shearing demonstrations. There's sheepdog demonstrations, herding demonstrations, and then there's booths. And because it's sheep themed, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you could buy. It's not just people going there for yarn, but it is more yarn focused than, say, a farmer's market, which I've heard can be hit or miss for people. Because if you think about it, a farmer's market, the number of customers that would be interested in hand-dyed yarn or the cost of hand-dyed yarn might be smaller. So it's just worth thinking about. Okay, we've got our color palette. We've got bright blue, some green, yeah, blue and red. Let's see. You only dye 2 skeins of one color and you do a small show each year. It's put on by your spinning guild. Since over the past 5 years, people have gotten to know me locally. See, something like that I think is perfect. I'm also very shy. Does that surprise you to know that I'm shy? I am a massive introvert, which again, if at first glance may seem a little surprising because I'm a very chatty person. And if you were to meet me like in person, I would probably be chatty as well. But I get overwhelmed by huge amounts of social interaction unless someone is in my like core group that I like. There's a subset of people that don't like drain my social battery, and then I can be around forever. And one of those people is in town and going to be staying at my messy house very soon. One of my best friends in the whole world. The only thing that would be more perfect is if his wife and kids could come too, all the way from California. Let's see. Okay, this is our brown yarn. Now you see, unlike the blue, there's still a fair amount of color in that water, but I don't really care. This was more about getting us a base color so that way I wasn't just dyeing white yarn. And in fact, I can see that there's some tonal variation in here. It is extremely subtle. Extremely subtle. Like you can see that there are darker patches and lighter patches. That'll just add some interest. Part of you is worried about being just another booth at a festival that's just selling booths. You know, it's funny. There was like a bunch of people. There was like some big expo that was more for suppliers than like indie people like me, but I was like invited. I mean, like I used to love going and shopping at like Vogue Knitting Live and stuff. I used to really like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess that you just have to think about how you want to do things. Now, speaking of think about, how do we want to do this? See, I'm going to start in the middle again. I'm going to get a paintbrush. Oh, I don't know if I want to use like my real paintbrushes. My real like paint night paintbrushes. Is that all I have? Oh no, this foam brush is disintegrating. Oh wait, I have some paint brushes, like paint foam brushes. I must have some in the other room. I just had to claim them as ChemKnits. Phew. You think I'm brave for doing YouTube? Yeah. I'm a social introvert. Yeah. So what I'm considering is doing like, I have an idea. We'll see how it goes. Because I know that the lines are not going to be perfect. And so this is my idea. And maybe I'll mix it up and do something different as we go. And that there may be overlap. But this is so different from the way I've done something like this in the past. Do you see where I'm headed here? Now the question will be keeping some randomness in to satisfy me. But see, what if I stick within each flower and do something less random and have it be more about the placement of the colors and a little bit less about, okay, I'm using a little bit of the brown in with the green. Add some colors. So what if I do this like an adult coloring book? You know? Of course, this is going to make it harder for me to talk because I'm going to be focusing. And I may mess up, which will be okay. But what if I do something like this? And so then it almost doesn't matter if we get bleeding between the lines. This is just sort of telling me, okay, we're going to put these colors in this area. You know? What do we think about that? And of course, I will obsess a little bit about randomly like placing the colors and making sure things like don't touch. And I will have to get over that because like when I quilt, I'm like, okay, two colors cannot be next to each other. But then, I don't know, I overthink things. But yeah, it took a long time for me to realize that I was introverted and to give myself permission to be introverted. And so some of my best friends who hopefully I'll have the stamina to go see tonight, they're local. But some of my best friends are very extroverted. It was like at our wedding, we knew we could sit them next to anybody and it would be fine. I mean, they were in our wedding, but we had to split people up because we had some friends that only knew some people that were in the bridal party. So, oh man, see here, the stencil is lifted and I don't care. Now, I think I may not focus on the partial flowers on the stencil. Maybe I would start them, but then I would try to line it up, but I don't know. We'll see. When I'm filling in these green areas, because I'm realizing I think I'm gonna really like this and the effects of stained glass. And I love that occasionally in with this paintbrush, I'm getting hints of the brown that was there before. I think that that is so fun because that's part of the background color, and this is what this green is, right? The background color. But we're not obsessing, Rebecca. I love also realizing now that these flowers totally overlap with one another in a way that I haven't figured out I guess they sort of repeat that way. But anyway, I guess that's the only one in the middle. So the repeats will be interesting. It's so pretty where the colors blend and almost create an ombre. Yeah. I sound like someone from SNL. That's so funny. Yes, it's very much like stained glass. So, okay, this is now where I'm going to need to start making decisions, okay? Because I have 4 colors. And so I don't want pink next to pink. Ooh. I'm going to need to think about, I'm overthinking it, guys. I'm overthinking it. Okay, let's just do a red one, okay? I'm making myself panic. It's okay. Someone tell me, Rebecca, it's okay if the 2 flowers that are the same color touch. I need to hear it. This is why sometimes projects like this do not work well for like a Die Put Weekly episode, because I get so far in my own head with indecision when I really just need to go for it. And we're going to go for it and do the red over here as well. Because our color is going to have to touch. They're going to have to touch. or something. Okay, let's do blue. Ooh, this color is not that dark. What? There we go. I was like, this color is feeling too light. Oh, see, I missed a spot for green. But see, it's okay if I mess up, right? This is going to get unraveled and turned into something else beautiful. So everything is okay. Everything is okay. Everything is cool if you're... Oh, no, 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 I'm not singing. And this isn't even about me not wanting to torture you guys. This is about not wanting to get a copyright claim. Because I would love to be able to... Okay, we're going to go all the way to the edge and then just do our best. Where else do I need to do this color now? Let's do this blue right here. Yeah, because if I'm going to make ad revenue on this video, I would like it to be my own. Okay. I'm going to bring the pink over here. Planned randomness that may not work, but we're going to do what we can. Do. Okay, but see, then this one, see, here's another thing, because I'm like, sometimes I'd be like, okay, I need to have one of each color in each row. Whoops, the planned randomness is a real thing. But see, I've set myself up that I suppose I need to either do pink there. Yeah, I mean, I've made it such that it doesn't work. We're going to have things that are going to be point to point. And I have to be okay with that. Or, hear me out, I make a new color. Or we just allow point to point. I was like, I could layer colors and do it that way, but that's not really what I want. But I can let the colors go point to point. Gonna have to. I'd rather them go point to point this way. I think I'm a little bit in your way than that way, because if I had them point to point across the blank, then we'd have like one area that is like one row that's going to be like red and like so red with very little other color. And this gives us a little bit more something. Because I don't want pink to be in all the corners, but I can let pink be right here. Almost ready to peel this one up. Let's do bright blue. Oh no, please don't do too much and be a bleeder. This blue scares me. All right. This is really pretty, you guys. Really, really pretty. Okay, are we ready? Wait, where's my phone? I should take a picture. I mean, I know I'm filming this on like 4 different ways. Okay. What? Oh, well. Okay. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, that's really fun. I've never done anything like this, but see, now I almost don't care that the flowers, like this blue, it like bled and we don't have any lines. We have some lines on some of them. For whatever reason, the one blue did not work as well. But see, this is one where I feel like I like it more at this angle than from what you're seeing. I think it's really pretty though. I just need to line it up. It's very unique from anything I've done before. But lining up the stencil is going to be tricky because the pattern is not symmetrical. I mean, to an extent, there is a symmetricalness to it, but I'm not even going to, I'll pat it dry. There is a little bit of symmetricality, but because of the way that the flowers like layer on top of each other, there's elements that just aren't. Unraveled, it's less stripy when the flowers points match vertical to vertical. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If I had it exactly, if I have 2 going across, then that's gonna like remove some of the like surprise variation that we have. This is really cathartic. And see, like I overshot one of the colors. It's okay. It's all good. I'm just finishing up. But yeah, it almost looks, it's funny because since the flowers aren't complete, that makes the design almost have like an element of something weird. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know what they look like to me. And that's why it looks really weird, because you're seeing it at a completely different angle from what I am. But I'm going for it. And before doing all the greens, I am declaring the center of this one is going to be the scary blue that will probably bleed on me. But hopefully not. And now I can paint all these in. Are you going to do every flower solid color? I think so. I think if you find the video where I did the mermaid blank once, and I did things way more multicolored. Oh, I can remove the other blank. But I'm not going to because I don't need to. So I think that I could have done them in a more multicolored way, But I think looking at this pattern, I was feeling so overwhelmed that dividing it up this way helps me, and also then makes it like something I've never done before. And so that is really fun. And we do still have a fair amount of the background color left, which is exciting. This also means that I'm stressing about the stencil still showing up a little bit less. Oh man. But yeah, I definitely did one once where I blended the colors on the blanket itself, and the way that I did that would be by doing like painting half and then layering the colors on top of each other. And so I might only paint half of one of the sections one color, and it allowed me to do that. Or I might take some of the more bold colors and do them in just like little dots and peaks, like peekaboos. And so that was really fun. Okay, let's think about where pink should go. So I really want to put it like here. Let's do some red. First. Whoops. Oxblood is a very pretty red. The goal is to be random, not the same as we were before. Oh man. Okay. Okay, I have. I guess I'm gonna have to do pink there. Well, we got point to point going another direction too. Yeah, it's kind of the choice I left me. Okay, guys, we'll avoid 3 in a row. Okay, we've got some good randomness going on. I feel like pink is just going to be like every single freaking corner, though. Okay, but hopefully you're getting a sense of why I love doing this, okay? But there's a reason why this does not make it into videos very much, because it's hard for me to talk coherently and do this at the same time, you know? I really want to sing some Wicked songs right now, and it is very, very hard for me to not do that. And again, I have a horrible singing voice. But I am very excited for that movie. I convinced the kids to wear some crowns with me. And so I think that that'll be really fun. And especially because, so my brother is a manager at a movie theater, and as one of the employee perks, he gets tons of movie tickets. So it means that I get to go to a lot of movies, and I enjoy that. Oh, I did not, this one went really fast. Oh, I found one spot that I forgot the color though. But here we go. And now I want to sing a song that starts with that. Zoop! I'm really enjoying this with the dark brown. Or dark brown. I mean, it's a light brown. But I'm enjoying that combination. Rainbow flowers. Yeah, and I'm really glad, and because one thing that stopped me a lot was like, oh, do I need to have like a pastel base in order to do this? And there were so many like decisions that I always felt like I needed to make. Lovely, thank you. Got to finish these flowers. And by finish these flowers, I mean the ones that I had started on the very first panel. We have a few tip-to-tip colors. Do I need to plan out some more? This is what I don't know. Okay, which colors have a side-by-side buddy? The dark blue does not yet. Dark blue does not. Light blue does not. Red and pink do. This is like such an insight of like where I'm going. Oh man. Okay, let's do the green. The green is easy. Thank you. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so then you're less likely to miss videos. You're more likely to see when I'm live. I used to stream multiple times a month. I would do unboxings, which, speaking of unboxings, who knows if I'm still going to be on the list, but Paradise Fibers is coming back in January. They've reopened after the fiber, and I'm glad they gave themselves some time for that. That was one where, okay, I'm a Paradise Fibers affiliate. They've sent me that for free. They're very nice people, and I would love to go visit them sometime. But yeah, I guess some of the things that had my live streams is because I used to unbox Knit Crate every month. I can't tell you how much yarn I have, and oh man, I do miss them though. So one thing, and I can talk about this here, one thing that I've been a little nervous about, and I'm saying this as like a longtime Knit Picks customer and Knit Picks fan. They've been having a lot of sales recently. Like, I think there was a sale that if you spent $200, you got 30% off, which is probably what I bought all that bare yarn from. And given that previously the biggest discount I had ever seen was the 25% off, and we've had 25% off site-wide coupons a few times this year already. I don't know. I hope that doesn't mean that they're in trouble. Because I would be really sad if I had no more Knit Picks big sales. Because again, like, I'm a genuine customer and everything. So, but I think that in 2020, there was like a huge amount of like people shopping and buying yarn and crafts and supporting like small creators, small retailers, all kinds of things. And I think that people have a lot of yarn. And so I think people have been buying less. And it's hard. It's hard as like a indie shop owner as well, you know? Okay, let's think. Oh, goody, we can do like a tip to tip dark blue over here. And so it's just whenever I see, because sometimes sales are, we want to move product. Sometimes, yeah, and so I don't know. I just get nervous because, you know, for all that there was like tea and some drama, like I did enjoy Knit Crate. Of course, they never really, there was like the high point of what Knit Crate was, right? But I don't know. They had their challenges. But it takes a lot for a company to make me angry. But it's, you know, I've gone back and forth, and if Knit Picks keeps having good sales and then I can get the bare yarn at a good price, then I can keep using it for the majority of my things. But you know, there's a point where like if their prices increase enough, then because like Wool to Die For even had to raise prices, but they raised prices like $1 per kilo. And so it was like 10 cents a skein. It was super minor, non-problematic. But it's just, you always have to think about what might be going on. And I've been trying, because the other problem I have is I love, as I said, the big sale, and I will buy a couple skeins of just about anything, right? But then I have all this yarn that I hang on to because I'm like, well, what if I need this for like a lab partner video or just to do something different? And so I have all these random yarn bases and things that I haven't used that I might not use. And so that's just feels silly sometimes. Okay. I already did a blue. Oh dear. Oh. Let's scooch my computer a little way. So you're going to be red also. You are going to be blue. So the sad thing today is that I'm going to have so much stuff left over. Am I going to have to do another blue to blue? I think so. That's fine. And we've had quite a few dark blue to dark blues. That's okay. Is what it is. I have a feeling that this one sort of like is light to start and then sort of like blooms after a bit. I don't know. I am rambling. I'm seeing a tons of thumbs ups right there. Doo -doo -doo -doo. Okay. We did it. We look like a crochet Afghan. Don't they kind of look like granny squares? I'll read the comments in a sec. Okay. I am going to take a photo because I want to make sure I have one. I am going to remove the blank. Unfortunately, the other blank is probably too hot to open up. Okay, I removed that. We don't really need to let this sit. Let's start steaming it. I'm going to get a little more plastic wrap. Oh, Rebecca. So I did not give myself a ton of extra. Jesus. Apologies. I knocked something over, but it was a bottle with a lid. Gave myself a small heart attack, though. Hee. Okay. I'm gonna fold that in half. Steam set this. I'm gonna steam set this one. I'm feeling nervous about some of those colors, so I'm gonna do 45 minutes just to make myself feel better. And I have a huge mess here. So we'll think about that in a minute. So I don't have lunch ready to go, and I'm a little bit hungry. I'm gonna sit down and chat with all of you, but I need to think if, because I have an idea of what I would do, and it's, oh well, that glove is probably dead to me now. It's a version of something I did many years ago. And I think that what I would probably do with the rest of this guar gum is some freehand painting, like abstract freehand painting onto a blank, is probably what I'd be inclined to do. But yeah, all right, let's see if there's anything I missed because I can't really see the chat. Let's see, like the video, yes, please like the video and subscribe. I like the idea to do a flower with all the colors. Ooh, imperfectly imperfect. Paradise Fibers has some lovely, maybe some random yarns scheduled for live dyeing. Yes, I do that sometimes. So one of the videos that I needed to do, but I didn't do today because I was like, I need to not do planning. One of the live streams that I like to do, let's find it. Thank you for not auto playing, so. Okay, so here are some of my recent live streams today. Yay, I'm live right now. Oh, my new jammies. There's even newer Hannah Anderson Chanukah jammies. I'll have to show you guys. Or maybe I'll just surprise you when I wear them. But my kids, okay, wait, that's for a minute later. Okay, so this was a video, 4-hour live stream that was, looking at my neon nest yarn, that was behind the scenes live stream while I was working on filming some episodes of Dye Cut Weekly. And some of those videos have come out now. But what I did was basically a super long stream that was like what I do for ChemKnits patrons at certain levels. And, nope, you want my face. And if you want to learn more about my Patreon, I'm dropping that into the chat. And so every month for patrons, I will do a behind the scenes live stream where I will stream while I'm working on an episode of Dye Cut Weekly. And so and I do this for 2 reasons. One, it is a sneak peek. The postdoc level of YouTube members also gets access to this stream. So you get it's like a unedited clip. And so if I make a mistake, you get to see me re-say something. Or you get to see a little bit about my process. Maybe I will talk to you while I'm doing a time lapse, and so I'll chat about nothing in particular. Maybe I will, maybe you can see like how much downtime there is, and so you can see that in these streams too. But eventually, which can be, I would say, anywhere from like a couple weeks to a year later, the video I was working on will come out as an episode of Die Cut Weekly. And so I did that in the stream, but in doing that, and I did specifically dye a lot more of the random bases I have. There's probably thousands of skeins of yarn in my house. I have so much. Not all of it's bear yarn. There are hundreds of skeins of bear yarn, given that this box had 100 of skeins in it right here. But the thing that I struggle with is there's some yarn bases I love so much that I always want to have some, right? Because sometimes one of the things I love to do are side-by-side videos. But, where is it? Here we go. Oh yeah, sending love to Paradise Fibers. Oh. Because yeah, I guess without like a dedicated unboxing, then I have streamed it as much. And I had my, like this was June and what, it's November. I have not been streaming very much. Oh, but this was a day that I had a huge amount of projects, which projects get delayed. But there was a reason why there was a lot of things and stock solutions I needed to prepare for. And so I had that. And so that was fun. But yeah, I guess the last official ChemKnits dye-along that I did was over a year ago. And I think it just became a little bit too much. And so some of these Friday slots, I will try to do streams. But yeah, sometimes life is hard. And so painting things is fun. But I wonder if I can find... Yeah, like, so this video, I had all these silk blends, 50-50 silk blends, but 50-50 with merino, 50-50 with yak, 50-50 with camel. And so it was really fun to dye those side by side and show the difference. And I love showcasing side by side things. And so to do that though, you gotta have, either I have to plan far enough ahead to make a yarn order for like one skein of a random base, or I have to have a lot of things on hand. And so that's the only issue. But where was I going to say that I had, what was I going to say? I have, but then there's some yarn bases like the new Neon Nets base that Wool to Dye For came out with. I adore it. The one I used for Halloween. I have 0 skeins of that left. I want to create more things on it. So I'm like, well, do I buy more of it or wait until I need it for like a special something? You know, that's hard. Let's see. Do you have any issues with red pigment showing up in your Dharma Platinum dye? Yeah, so platinum breaks. Let me see. I'm like scrolling through older videos. Oh, you know why? That's why I'm not going to find it easy. Because platinum is a yarn base too. So platinum, yes, platinum is a color that either for me breaks from like a purplish to almost a teal or looks very navy. It depends on the yarn base. And it depends on if you're using it hot or cold. But with speckles, it has a lot of red and blue pigments in there. Yeah, so there are some colors that have pigments in them that don't dissolve well. And that you'll notice that you have the dye, you're using it, and then at the very end, there's all this color that you didn't expect. Avocado is one of those. It's a really pretty teal. You get sort of those yellows towards the end. Sea Spray is another one that it's a blue-green. Sometimes it's way more blue, sometimes it's way more green. Let me see if I can find that one. Okay, here we go. So in this video right here, oh no, I don't want to see, you can see in that preview, all those colors came from one dye color. It's just maybe one let the dye settle or something. So it's, you know, it's like why some colors you may want to mix fresh versus having a dye stock for, because like the pale green, it was some effort, I forget, to get that pale green color with what was left behind with a pour. I don't remember exactly what I did, but I will say that the two in the middle, the one that is more blue and one that is more teal, that is a much bigger difference. So yeah, a cheesecloth may help. I heard my phone go and I don't know where I put it. I'm not gonna worry about the phone. I will say that one thing I've been doing more recently, which you guys haven't seen yet, but I got myself a dedicated dye kettle, an electric kettle that can boil water. And so I have been using that more when mixing dyes. And some of the frustration of dyes clumping, oh my goodness, using like boiling water really helps. But to do that, I have to use a glass jar because I'm not going to put boiling water into one of those plastic cups because it'll melt it. So that's a little bit more annoying. But what I will say is that starting with boiling water doesn't change some of the colors that have solubility issues in the end. Some that tend to be a little more powdery in solution and crash out of solution, some of those issues remain even if I started with hot water versus boiling water. So yeah, I think that there are some dyes that are just a little trickier to work with. Straining them may help. You could use like if you don't want to use cheesecloth, you could use like a coffee filter. But yeah, I'm trying to think what other things I had that oh my gosh, so many emails. And only one of those is important. I went down to like inbox 0, and so like I have like 40 emails in it now at any given time, which are like the things I'm like, oh yeah, I need to do that. Sorry. There is one thing that I have to deal with right now. Aha, this is what I wanted to do. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, yeah. So some things sometimes you need to let sit more. I think I'm close to being tapped out for today, unfortunately. Where is my stream? Oh, here we go. I was like, where's my stream manager? Let me know if you have any other final questions or anything for me. I'm very excited to try out these wool picking shirt dyes. Let me actually, I'm not going to link those below. I was like, so in order to make the affiliate link, I have to take the link from KnitPicks and then I go to another site. The site is Share a Sale. That's why, like, you'll see that the links start a little different. And yeah, I don't feel like doing that right now, but I am excited to try these dyes out. If you're just tuning in, this is something that KnitPicks, I think there's an expo that is more for distributors. Like, people are there to show things to get companies to wholesale it and sell it on their sites, right? And these are dyes that are in like a tea bag, and you use it on 100 grams of wool and you stir. I guess maybe the citric acid packets are separate. The intros are just, you drop the the tea bag into a dye jar. Pour about 12 cups or 3 liters very hot water over the dye. Cover and soak wool in dye bath for 2 minutes. Stir in 1 citric acid packet. Cool to room temp, then drain, rinse, and dry. All done. I mean, that can work. The issue, though, is like, I have some large glass jars, and they show a glass jar. I have never seen a glass jar that fits 12 cups of water. My big ones fit 8. So, question. When cleaning template pots in your sink, does that make the sink dye only and poison for food safe use? This is a great question. So I'd say my kitchen sink is one place where things that are, where multiple things can come into contact at one place. I guess the thing is that for us anyway, we consider the kitchen sink to always be filthy. And so if something like a plate or a knife touches the kitchen sink, it goes through the dishwasher or gets hand washed before used again. And so my sink is a stainless steel sink. I do like rinse it down and wash it down after I'm done using the dyes. But since I don't prepare food directly in it, and I wouldn't eat anything without washing that has touched it, I think that that is a place where I am currently okay with there being dyes and then later dishes. Just not at the same time. Okay? But I think that other people, their comfort may vary, and maybe you would prefer to wash things in like a bathroom sink. Or if you have a laundry room sink versus the kitchen. So you don't have a dishwasher and you fill the sink with soapy water to wash dishes. So, I mean, and I guess like your comfort level is, I think, what you may have to care about. I would say that the amount of dye that goes into my sink is way less than what goes into the yarn. And so usually I have very little going in, but again, I think, a big pickle jar. Yeah, that might be the thing. I think that your comfort there is important. Like, I don't put acid dyes in my microwave because I find it really hard to clean. And if there's splatter, I don't know what's going on in there. Now, I would be okay using them in a microwave that is dedicated for dyeing, but part of this also comes from my lab experience where we had microwaves that we used to make gels for, where we would make agar gels. And so you would boil it before starting, or you'd boil something. It's been a long time. But those microwaves, because there were sometimes dyes that were not okay for food in there, they all had big signs like, no food, not for food, you know, chemicals only and stuff. And so I have that like separation of church and state kind of thing very there. You ever seen actual data about how poisonous acid dyes actually are? So you can find safety data sheets with some companies. Let me see if I can find okay, let's see. Okay, so on Dharma's website, oh yeah, Dharma has free shipping going on right now on Dharma Training Company. So here's a page where they have safety data. I just dropped it into the chat. But they have a page where if you just search for safety data sheets, which they used to be MSDS, Material Safety Data Sheets, it changed, it's just SDS. And if you look at it, some of the things might be pretty scary basically almost all compounds could be really bad if ingested at high levels. Or maybe it's not tested. So it's like, don't drink them. So really like common sense. So the things on the SDS, and this is important. So keep in mind that these are written for worst case scenarios for the manufacturing environment where workers make and are packaging the product all day long, 40 hours a week. Many of the products below are non-toxic, so the SDS will say that. With products that list an ingredient that can be hazardous if misused, the SDS will list that ingredient and what percentage occurs in the product. The common theme here is to use good old-fashioned common sense, i.e. don't eat them, drink them, allow your pets, children, or friends to either. Don't get them in your eyes, protect your skin, work in a well-ventilated area, wear a dust mask when working with powders, wear better quality respirator with proper filters if you work with powders a lot. Keep your work area clean. If someone does ingest one of the products or gets a chemical in their eye, you should provide the physician with the SDS or let them know where they can access it from our site. Flush eyes immediately with exposure. Remember, the only way these are going to get in your system is if you eat them or breathe them. And so it's really about common sense. And so like, okay, how could they be exposed? Like, it's not going to go through your skin. And so it's like, are they a carcinogen? But they're and like, you know, and they'll go through each of them. Which color is this? This is ecru. Okay. And so like, you know, they have this information for all of them and for any chemical. But again, like even if one of the dyes has something in it that is toxic or something, that is if ingested, right? And do not eat dyes. And so the recommendations for using dedicated dye containers is because, like, what if there's like a pit and there's some in there and you don't, you know, it's just about being overly cautious, right? So yeah, and with the dyes, they're safe enough to dye clothing with them and wear them. Once someone asked me about like something for baby clothes, and I was like, well, I honestly don't know, right? Like, and I'm like, goodness, I'm not going to recommend anything, right, that I don't know for sure. But certainly, I've bought commercially dyed products and put them on my children. And so I think that, like, there's an amount where it's like, okay, do your own research, right? But there's an amount of also, like, the recommendations and the protocols that companies share would say other information if things weren't safe to use in the home. And I think that information would be there. And so this is one reason why I look at a product like this, which I'm very excited to try. But, you know, does it say anywhere on here? Like, so they don't recommend, and I don't think in their videos they wear a respirator mask. I don't know if they recommend, I don't know if they recommend using things that are dedicated for dye and aren't made for food. We can go to their website. Nope, I don't want to go to the KnitPicks. I want to go to their website. Nope. Here we go. Easy as brewing a cup of tea. And so this is very, very interesting. So take our word for it. They have tons of colors and dye pairings and kits. Oh yeah, this kit comes with a jar, but that jar is a 4-liter jar. They recommend, wait, that jar is 4 liters? I guess it's a gallon. Okay, fine. You can get a kit with a dye jar. That's kind of cool. like an FAQ. Reviews, wholesale. And I'm not, I don't want to like poo-poo like something that I think is a fun idea. But let's see. But see, the thing is that these instructions didn't come with the dies, right? I cannot read this. Get ready. Non-reactive pot. For safety and efficiency, do not combine more than 3 tea bags per 100 grams of fiber. I wonder about safety, or if it's because like the colors will bleed. I know this is riveting. Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing, oh, dye safety. Dye safely. Do not share your dye tools and supplies with food preparation. Avoid breathing directly over jar while pouring in the hot water. Clean up after yourself when you're finished. Okay, so they do say that. But, like the do not share your dye tools and supplies with food preparation, that is said further, oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Said further down versus like being like a huge like bullet point of like, hey, you know, do these things. And so, yeah, I mean, I try because again, I'm not exposed to dyes 40 hours a week or anything, right? I use a lot of them, but I'm very, very careful about using my respirator mask. And the nice thing is that I've never found dye powder on the like outside rubber parts of the mask. But it's important to have the glasses on because sometimes things splash and you don't want to get it in your eyes. You want to protect your eyes. And the same thing with powders. I feel like the bigger risk is that you're going to drop like a jar and it's going to go poof and then you could inhale it. And so it is with an abundance of caution, and that's why like I'm going to recommend that you wear something. So I hope that that helps. But so that's why, because I feel so, and I think that this is part of the scientific background, but if like there's a company which I think they're making something that is really cool, I think it's a cool product, but you know, do they have SDS sheets for their dyes? Do they have like, you know, what things do they offer? Because anything in a big enough quantity could be harmful to some extent. Like, I mean, technically water can be toxic. You can drink too much water and that can be a problem. Now, it's very hard to get to that point, but there are cases of that. And so I'm glad, because I think that like I will give recommendations, and there might be some things that I do that you decide you're not comfortable dyeing in your kitchen at all. I dye yarn in my kitchen. There may be things, I mean, for me, the biggest, from my personal opinion, the biggest risk of dyeing yarn in my kitchen is that I'm going to drop a huge amount of dye and stain my hardwood floors. And then be very sad. And so that's also like a concern, like if we redo our kitchen, which our kitchen needs to be redone, but if we do that, then like, will I be comfortable dyeing in there? Maybe not. And so, because I don't want to like mess up the new things that we got, right? Not because of anything else. And so, but you know, ultimately I know you're going to make a choice for yourself, but if I'm recommending something, I'm certainly going to try to do things cautiously, because I don't know, but I mean, I do some things that are like ill-advised. Like sometimes I'll put like my gloved hand into a hot dye bath, but I know how much I can handle. And I know, okay, I don't think it's that hot, but I definitely do not recommend that you do that. And so I'm like, that's irresponsible of me to show for sure. So, yeah. Oh no, I still have the timer going. But yes, okay. Speaking of food, I think I'm going to go start cleaning things up. And that means, oh, you can't see, that I'm going to need to do something with all these little jars that have guar gum in them. And I'm going to want to save them for another day. I can move my head. There we go. And so what I think I'm going to do is take one of my favorite shoe boxes. And well, actually, I can do this with you guys. You guilty of dyeing in your kitchen and you now have 3 speckled tiles. It's funny because there's other dyers that I've seen that have like, you know, washing machines that I think they use as like a spin dryer and stuff. And there's just dye everywhere. And I imagine, like, I am very careful, right, with where things are and how I'm doing things. And a huge part of that is not wanting to make a mess. But another huge component of this is some of it is truly my scientific training. Is this gonna not work well? Oh, bollocks. Hopefully that's not that bad of a word. Okay, so I'm gonna need to clean the brushes, even though I really don't want to, but they will not fit in this container to store these for another day, and that is unfortunate. And I will say, will this one fit? Oh, come on. Oh, I'm not even going to be able to fit everything. I really want to fit everything. Oh! Okay, that fits. Fine. Oh, man. Okay, so I guess another thing that I haven't really talked about is guar gum going bad. So I think the area in my kitchen where things get stored is a little bit sunny. And so after, I mean, guar gum doesn't smell that good to start with, but it starts to smell a little bit rank after about a week. And so if it smells bad, then I would toss it. Oh my gosh! You know I'm tired when I'm putting things away and I'm on the wrong camera and I have a monitor over there and don't even notice. Classy swearing. She's entered the realm of dyer's past. Can't see me. Yep. Because see, I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention. This is where Rebecca's getting tired, guys. It's been a long week. It's been a really long week. Okay. Long month. Okay, so I put them all in here and they all fit, but I had to take the brushes out, so I have those just in water. And I'm going to very carefully set this aside so I can use it hopefully another day. Maybe I'll do a, gosh, I think maybe what I'll want to do is I'll do a video and I will chat about something while I use it. I'll come up with something. It won't be a problem. But oh man, I can't believe I didn't change the camera. This is when you know that I'm probably done. Now see, there's a little bit of dregs in these. It's like the dregs of what's left. that's some dye that's going to go bye-bye. Because sometimes you just need to say goodbye. Sometimes it's not even worth keeping for leave no dye behind. So you know what sometimes bugs me? When I'm trying to do a leave no dye behind and there's not that much dye. Like sometimes I'll do a leave no dye behind and I'm like, oh no, this is another like pastel dusty pink. Oh man. So, because sometimes I truly think there's more pigment than there is. And I don't like it when I feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over. So, yeah. See, this is me cleaning. And you can see that, I mean, given that I worked on plastic wrap, there really should not be much pigment on this shower curtain. Because that's what this is, an IKEA shower curtain. But if you're curious about some of my cleanup protocols, so I always wipe it down. That's the first thing I do is I wipe it down. And I wipe it down until I don't see, like maybe I got a little dye on this like up before, but I try to get one that is nearly completely clear. Now, if I've done any work with dry dye powders during the day, which can include having a dye stock that maybe could have had a little bit of dried powder around the top of it. Am I just completely out of focus? I think so. Well, I'm going to sit down in front of the camera because this is still. Okay. Hi. Okay, so I will wipe down the surface. I let it sit a little bit because sometimes there could be a rogue dye powder on there that isn't showing up. And then I'll see it after like a couple of minutes because it now can get wet. And so when that is clean, I sort of hang it on over like a stool kind of thing to dry. And then in theory, fold it up, or else I just use it again the next day. I know I need to eat, don't I? And so that's how I transition that. Now, as for like stove and stuff, there's just a lot of like wiping down. There tends to be very little dye that gets anywhere on the surface of the stove things, thankfully. But again, I'm comfortable using it because I'm using a different container to cook food. Like I'm not cooking directly on the stove surface. And so, yeah, I just have to clean up and then I can make some lunch. Often I'll be smart and on a day of dyeing, I'll have something that is like ready to go that I can just pull cold from the fridge and go and eat. But sometimes then I'm like, oh, I have a lot of cleaning to do before I can eat. And then before I go and pick up kids and all that jazz. Oh man, okay. Rebecca's brain has left the chat. But thank you all so much for joining me today as we did this stream. I know we don't get to see the finished products right now, but at some point, probably after Thanksgiving at this point, being honest, I might do a recap with the finished dry blanks, or they may be added to the shop at some point. And the recap will probably be in the form of a short. Which actually it could be 3 different shorts. Maybe I'll do 3 different shorts of the 3 different blanks. That may make sense. One of them might have like a 4th short or something, but that one may or may not end up here. It may just be on social media. I have links below to where you can find me, like say on Instagram and things. You can obviously subscribe here. That's the biggest thing you can do to support the channel. There's my Etsy shop. In the chat, I have the Chanukah pre-order linked. And again, in my video description at the top, I have a link to an affiliate link to the pre-sale for the Knit Picks Big Sale, but I should do a live stream on Monday to say, yay, the big sale is here! And we can shop together. And I always enjoy doing that. And you guys can encourage me to get a bunch of yarn. Because actually, I know I'm signing off. Okay, but I have a number of videos that are over dyeing where I might, oh, I guess a lot of these aren't necessarily things that are coming up, but I might start with a yarn that is like a colorful yarn from Knit Picks and then transform it in some kind of way. And so I don't always start with white colored bare yarn. Sometimes I might over dye in a highlighter yellow color. And so you can get yarn on clearance and transform things that aren't white or off-white, especially if your favorite yarn base, if there's a mint green or lavender yarn that is 60% off, that's a really good deal. You can go for it and dye that and experiment on that if that is what makes sense for you. And so I have a number of these. Ooh, I like that thumbnail. I have a number of these videos here. I reference mint because for a while, and this started because I was trying to myself save money. And so I'm like, oh, I want this yarn base. I can get this in the big sale. It's way cheaper. Awesome. So that's the reason for some of my decisions. But I'm going to pop this link in right now because if you think you'll be shopping, you can buy stuff from them and support me at the same time. And so that's a win-win. And then also means that sometimes they send me some awesome presents. And yeah, that's been nice and it makes me happy. And I've been doing better about asking for things. I was very proud of myself for asking for them to send this to me, even though then they said no, they can't. Probably because it's one thing if they manufacture something themselves and then they can send that to me. It's another thing if they're buying it wholesale from another company, then there's probably rules and stuff. So there's some bright orange cashmere clearance yarn you'd love to get. How would you over dye that? Ooh, that would be hard. I think a bright orange is harder than a bright yellow, but I mean, you can over dye just about anything. It's just, the more saturated the color is, the harder it's going to be to transform it. But you can always do something deeper, or you could use even some blues to shift it more into a burnt orange category from neon. And bring it to a brown is very doable. It would be hard to take a neon orange to you're not going to be able to take it to a cyan blue. That's not going to happen. But you can also, with a bright orange, get some really lovely greens out of it. And so that's an option. But anyway, I should go clean my kitchen, eat some lunch. I'm so glad that you can hang out with me today. I had a lot of fun. It is so much fun to just play with color like this. I really enjoy it and just hang out and chat. I've missed doing this. It's been too long. I would love to do, unfortunately, it's probably not going to be for a while. I would love to do another random mystery surprise game where we let the wheel pick the technique and the colors and all that jazz. I have a feeling that that's more likely to come in January once Chanukah is over. I feel bad having multiple mystery things going at one time. And especially Valentine's Day I have to think about and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, my brain is shutting down, so I'm going to shut down. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, pre-order your Chanukah yarn. Oh, this was fun, and I am not good at saying goodbye. It takes me a long time, but I hope that you all have a really wonderful day, and that you have a nice weekend full with all the self-care that you need. Play with some squishy yarn, because yarn will always give you a hug back. Okay, I'm making no sense now. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching.